Last year's #1 pick, Cam Newton, exceeded all expectations with a sensational rookie season. This year's #1 pick, Andrew Luck, his expectations are already through the roof. So this week's 101, we ask, who would you rather start a franchise with, Cam Newton or Andrew Luck? Eric, who are you going to go with?
That's a fascinating question because, typically I fall in the bird in the hand is worth two in the bush category, where if I see somebody prove themselves already, like Newton did last year, phenomenal rookie season, I would probably tend to take him over the unknown, the guy Andrew Luck we haven't seen take a pro snap. But I'm going to go the other direction. I think Luck is more of a sure thing in the sense that Cam Newton is not for everybody. You've got to be willing to devise your offense around him, and not every coordinator is willing to take the chances that Rob Chudzinski did. I also think they're going to change things up a little this year. I don't think you'll see Newton running as much. They want to preserve this guy long term. They've got him on the cheap now. He's under contract for 3 more years. That's why they signed Mike Tolbert and kept those running backs intact. I think one element in his game is going to take a little bit of a step back, and that's why I think Luck, who's got the all-around system stuff, is going to be a great quarterback, very consistent throughout his career.
But Arthur, it seems like NFL GMs and coaches at least have an idea of what they can get out of Cam Newton already, and Andrew Luck, there's still a little bit of mystery.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head for me. I think that when you see what Cam was already able to accomplish, not against SEC defenses, not against Pac-10 defenses, but thriving against some good NFL defenses, that for me is where the argument really starts and ends. We already saw him be a better rookie passer than Peyton Manning, Joe Montana, the list of course goes on. So you talk about Andrew Luck maybe being more of a sure thing, and I can see that. Sure, the intangibles and the smarts, I think he's going to have his head around that playbook and he's going to be golden there. But for me, Cam maybe has a little higher ceiling, and that's very intriguing to me as well. He's obviously the dual threat guy who can really take a game over with both his arm and his legs. He showed that last year. So for me, that gives him the slight nod. I think they're going to both be really good NFL quarterbacks, but that's why I lean in Cam's direction.
It seems like scouts and people who watch tape who are a lot smarter than the three of us say that Andrew Luck is the best quarterback prospect in decades, comparing him to John Elway, saying he's going to be one of the best. And as you said, he hasn't even taken a snap. Cam Newton did not have those expectations, and he came out there with a whole lot of injuries, offensive line injuries, the running game wasn't there. At wide receiver, really, aside from Steve Smith, not a lot of talent there, and he still put up a big year. I think I would have to go with Arthur. I think I'd have to go with Cam Newton right now to start a franchise. And Andrew Luck, it's going to take a couple of years with that Colts offense to try to get the parts around him. Both guys have a lot going up against them because they're on teams that really are trying to rebuild.
Yeah, I would love to have this debate in a year. Obviously, we'll have a little bit more of a sample size to look from. And Luck, I think, is going to show his maturity, much in the way Peyton Manning did, and I hate the Peyton Manning comparisons because it's just unfair to the kid. But by the end of that 1998 season, they were 3-13, but you saw elements of a superstar there. Okay, he had a lot of interceptions, but by the end of the year, he started to click and he started to really get it. Robert Griffin III might put up the better stats. He's going to be the story, I think, this year as those two kind of go along. But I think 3 years down the line, we're going to look at Andrew Luck and see a guy who's on the same level as Phillip Rivers, Eli Manning, some of these really consistent winners, Ben Roethlisberger, different style, but that same kind of winner and producer. Newton, I think, can be terrific, but if he's less of a runner and just a thrower, I still have a little bit of doubt there.
Here's another question for you, Arthur. You cover the AFC South, so you know that the Colts, they're obviously at the bottom of that division, but there's not a whole. I mean, the Texans are at the top of the Jaguars are rebuilding. Titans, not sure with Jake Locker there. It feels like Andrew Luck might have a better head start against that division than Cam Newton's going to have in the NFC South, which is considered maybe one of the best divisions in football right now.
Yeah, I think it's a very valid point. Arguably no weaker division in the NFL right now than the AFC South. We talk about the clear-cut, division leaders up there with the Texans, but there is a lot of room to maneuver, and we could very well see that for sure. I think, the proof is going to be in the pudding, obviously, but both of these guys are going to have a chance to have excellent careers, as we said. One more thing I will throw in on Newton quickly. A lot of red flags about the maturity stuff. Certainly Pro Football Weekly made enough headlines in our assessment of Cam Newton, and of course he pretty much exceeded all expectations as a rookie. But what impressed me the most is, despite the historic rookie season, he comes out last month, said he knows he needs to work on his maturity. He needs to be a better teammate. To me, that kind of says that maybe he does get it. Maybe he realizes there's plenty of room for improvement. It's a scary thought for other NFL teams.
I think the one thing we can all agree on is in this NFL league where it's quarterback driven, any head coach, GM, offensive coordinator would love either Andrew Luck or Cam Newton. I think there's a lot of teams that would prefer either of those guys over who they have right now. Those are our picks for this 101. Who would you take, Andrew Luck or Cam Newton, to start your franchise? Let us know in the comments and stick to ProFootballWeekly.com.